Hey guys, I am Hunter Dino. I am your Dino Fury Pink Ranger and the new Cosmic Fury Red Ranger. I just met Gaz here because look at this, right? But I just heard about his YouTube channel, Action Activate. You guys should go check it out because he's amazing.
Anyway, I'm Gazbot. This is Action Activate, and with me, as always,
it is the Big Dog here for the end, as it were, which is the title for episode 10 of Cosmic Fury, as you saw presented by the Cosmic Fury Red Ranger herself.
Yes, and this is the end of the season. It is the end of the Dino Fury Cosmic Fury. It is the end of the post Zordon era. It is the end of the Power Rangers as we know it.
Yes. And man,
so
what an ending it was.
We're just kind of trying to blast through it as quick as we can.
It was a good ending. I thought there was a lot of good here. They left us on a good, not cliffhanger per se in episode 9,
Last
but a
episode,
good...
You wanted to talk about the white construct that reminded you of the Matrix, which is actually the beginning of this episode. So why don't you go on and talk about that? Seeing
Ion and definitely Zordon, definitely
Blue eyes, right?
Yeah, definitely not anybody other than Zordon. They said the power protects you, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was cool. It was a good kind of homage to a lot of different stuff. The Matrix, Harry Potter, Supernatural, anything with a purgatory-like state where our hero is there, it pauses, it's the calm before the storm, then they come back and all heck breaks loose, Right.
And heck is breaking loose while they're there because they cut back and forth, too.
Yeah.
Slither and Mucus steal a Squidroll, and they seem to be amazing pilots, by the way. And this is acknowledged by the Rangers, like, they're really good. Doesn't really make sense, but whatever.
Have you ever heard the term idiot savant?
Yeah, but he is a doctor of circus. But
they recently found the savant part while being human. But
I'm not sure if that's offensive or not. So I'm glad you said it, not me.
Yeah. No, the characters are cool.
They used the teleporter to great effect to get the cracked chamber away from Squidrilla or Badrilla, Billerber, which again is one of those things where like, oh yeah, they have these powerful teleporters. Every now and then they remember it and use it, and this is a case going back to what you said previously of like, oh, all this stuff that we always say they should do, they're doing, and so you're welcome, Hasbro.
Really get a good sense of dread where what are we going to do about Master Zed, as it were. He's one-tapped the Zords. The forces are pinning down the Rangers. Ion, is coming back. And
this was all resolved last episode. At the end of the episode, he got pulled into the container. That was the end of Zed, right?
I wasn't done.
Okay, go ahead.
Pinned down. Ion comes back. What are we going to do? They're in the container. And who is going to help with this container shenanigans? Zato, who's back.
Right. In a little bit of a different order because they get the staff and Javi's going to use it, but they're like, remember what happened last time? It's like, we're all going to do it together. But before they get a chance to do that, then Zato comes back. Then they all go into the container with Zato. They don't meet Zato in the container.
I didn't say they meet Zato in the container. The details don't matter because we don't have to go chronologically. What did you think of the whole resolution in a bottle, literally?
I didn't mind it. It couldn't. Was it exactly what I wanted? No. Did it ruin it for me? No. I'll talk about the positives. The positives are that environment they were in was like Mighty Morphin season 1. Like they're just in some black area with smoke, and that could be Sentai footage, but it just very much was like, oh, this is a Lord Zed environment. This makes me think of something he'd be in. And the other positive is that Zato kind of talks him into doing the right thing, even if it's self-preservation, because he has to. But then immediately Zed's like, no, I'm betraying all of you. But Zato knew that and betrayed him. And then what I really liked was Zato says something along the lines of, hey, he's in this purgatory forever, but if he can change and be good, he could get out because even Zed has the chance to change. I'm like, that is so Ranger. And
what did you think of Zato's costume change for the third time this season?
Much better than his last one. I mean, it was still essentially the Morphin Master costume, but it just worked on him and it looked like this cool armor. Yeah, it was impressive. It was the best of the 3.
It's interesting seeing the Morphin Master suit as like an armor as opposed to it being a full being, which is what we're more used to.
And that's the question. Like, is that their body? Is that like an ultra hero where like it looks like a suit, but no, that's like who they are? Or do they look different underneath too, and they just have these masks on? Because later on he gets the mask and he can remove it. So maybe
I like the idea of that, because then it's like, oh, who are these other Morphin Masters? Are they characters we know? Or are they characters we've heard of? One of them could be Animus for all we know. Who's to say? Like, you know?
I also like that. Did we skip over the part where like 5 classic Megazords came back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we did. Anyway,
was it the beginning? I don't remember.
I mean, I took my notes in order and I have it there. So yeah.
5 classic Megazords did come back thanks to Billy's tutelage.
Yes. The CGI was fair. It was, to my recollection, it was better than it was in Once and Always.
You know, it's a bummer. Side tangent. Go check out our Psycho Menace review and the Psycho Menace if you haven't, because going over this again, it made me just go, man, that Psycho Menace really knocked it out of the park for not being a Hasbro thing.
Yes, the fan film has done CGI Zords better than any official one ever has. However, this is better than the last one we saw.
Yes.
The battle, the staging, that was all good. It was just the actual CGI. I was like, I wish they could have spent a little more time on that, but what are you going to do? Yeah. Also, it a little bit makes up, because this is a new Zord fight that they created for this. This obviously wasn't from Q Ranger, and it kind of makes up for the fact that in the Super Mega Battle, there was a big mecha fight in Gokaiger that they just didn't use at all, which is mind-boggling. Like, it's just Zord. You could have said anything. Look up in the sky. They're even fighting up there. Just any excuse to use that footage. So while this isn't that, at least they were like, okay, this is another big finale. Let's put that in there. And at the end of that fight, Mucus and Slither kind of float away. And it's like, oh, I guess they're done. But spoilers, at the end of the episode, they're like, hey, we're back somehow.
Yeah. I'm cool with it. It's fine with me. I think cool they're good.
And they say they're back somehow. If they just floated away forever, then I would not have liked
that. I think I'm trying to think what happens right after they resolve the Zed issue. Does it cut to the concert after that? I don't remember chronologically.
No. They blast through to get they get the Zed container away from Squidrilla, but it has a crack in it, and so they get Zed out. He lets go his powers. What are we forgetting? Maybe it does. Hold on, let me look, because we're skipping around.
You're making me think it happens differently, but I'm pretty sure after that it jumps to the concert.
More or less, yeah. We kind of blew through. I was joking about blowing through it, but we really did blow through.
Well, because that's the thing. A lot of it is like the Zed in a bottle scene.
Yeah,
you can kind of sum it up in like 10 seconds. Does it have more gravity in real time? Yes, but they're in there. They say, "Hey Zed, don't be a bad guy." He's like, "Well, I'm going to be a bad guy." "Well, I expected you to. Here you lose. Yeah. If you're a good guy, we'll see you later. If not, we'll see you never." Like,
yeah. There you go. Right. So they trick him. Oh, and we do have to mention that Rita's there. Now, I don't know who the body was, but the voice was definitely Barbara.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a cool little thing where, and I think we talked about this in our original review, where it's funny that that's kind of his like mental prison, where before in MMPR, it was shown that she did a love potion to make him love her.
Yes.
I think kind of like the Ollie thing, my headcanon is that eventually wore off.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. And I also love he has a line that says something like, "I hate how much I love you," which makes sense because he's like, I hate love. Like he really does love her, but he doesn't want to, and it's terrible. Because even because there's no reason he has to serve her. He's like, "Get me another drink." He's like, "You can get your own drinks. Here you are." Like
it is the perfect Rangers example of a grumpy old married couple in the best way. Nothing will ever beat them, and nothing will ever compete even remotely.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that'd be better is if they were like when Rito shows up as like the annoying brother-in-law, basically. That's I realize who Rito is. Well, in comparison to another, not like in Power Rangers canon, but the character archetype perfectly. You ever watch Christmas Vacation?
Yes.
Cousin Eddie. Rito is Cousin Eddie.
Kinda.
And he calls Zed Ed.
Interesting. So speaking of this episode, so when they go to their concert,
before the concert, Zato leaves, and he's like, "I'm a full Morphin Master now, and begin," and then he's like, "Bye," and that's the end of him.
Which again, like, I kind of already got over that Zato died, and then he came back. I'm like, that's kind of cool. You're still kind of gone, so Shoo shoo.
Really, I guess it's just saying like you'll never see him again, but there's definitely an afterlife.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There's definitely something.
Yeah.
At this concert, this is a legitimate pet peeve. There's a lot of positives we've said. This is my one true negative, and I'm reiterating it again.
Yes.
Javi does his song and he's jamming and he says, "May the power protect you." And Billy's like, "Wow, that's really cool that he used that phrase that Zordon uses." And then Ian's like, "No, like I totally got that from a different guy that I saw that totally wasn't Zato in this weird
in the morphing grid." What? Yeah.
And then it's, "Oh my god, I need to figure out Zordon's out there. I need to see where he's at." I hated this being in this. I wish it was taken out.
And here's what I thought, because the first time we watched it, I think we both were like, "Oh, this is like takes place before Once and Always, and it sets up Billy going to find him." Makes perfect sense. Great. Love it. Now that we know for sure, canonically, we were wrong. Yeah. We admit it. We were wrong. It's the other order, and there's a lot of proof. You could find that all over the place. When we watched it this time and he said that, I still had like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, and then I actually had the thought of like, oh, is that sending him back down a bad path? Because he kind of obsessed about saving Zordon and kind of like went into it too much, and he accidentally brought back other evil, and like, oh, like he just got done with that. It's like, is he going back down the bad path? And I'm like, no, you know what? Maybe he's just interested. Maybe he's just, oh, maybe I feel better. I know he's in there. But then later on, he came back and he's talking to Mick, and he's like, he's in there. And it's like, oh no, he is. He's like obsessing about it again. That's an unhappy ending. He doesn't need to save him. We know now that he's okay. He's part of the morphing grid. Everything's cool. And Billy's now like once again obsessing about it. So that it makes, instead of setting up something cool, it's like an unhappy ending for Billy.
Yeah. It's like, oh, remember when you almost destroyed the world doing this? Well, I guess you'll do it again. But this time, Amelia's going to be there because ghosts are involved.
Yes. Well, I did like that just because it was like something, again, from the beginning of the first season. It's the ghost hunt.
That was another thing that was funny because watching it now, again, with different changes in my life, I love how she's like, oh, hey, my sibling was born. That's weird. I guess I missed it being at this concert instead of the hospital for my parents giving birth to a child. Anywho, yes, look, guys, I have a sibling.
In normal world, that is like a bad sister, a bad family member. I'm giving her a break because A, she just saved the world, and B, she didn't know her parents. Like she kind of just met them. She was at the concert. Who was at the concert? Poppy, her real father.
That's true.
And all of her friends and family. So I'll let it pass because the way she was raised, they're essentially like cousins or uncles or something.
Step family, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, she loves them, but it's not,
it's
Poppy's
not the same.
dad. Poppy's her dad. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then they're like, I was going to say, then the baby being named Poppy after Pop. So
yeah. So Slither and Mucus survive somehow. They do the song. I'm going to make a controversial statement, and I might back down on this if I'm presented with evidence. I think I dislike all original music played by characters in every season of Power Rangers. I can't, including this one, I can't think of any. Some is better than others. Some is like horrible, but even the decent stuff, I'm like, this is not good.
I think that I will say counter to that. I think this is the best season of original songs from Power Rangers.
I was trying to think. There were some original songs, and I want to say like Dino Thunder, maybe, that was like decent. I feel I'd have to go back and watch it, but that might be my favorite. But like, I was just rewatching. You came in at the tail end. I was rewatching this at 1.5 speed. And it was like, and you're like, oh, this is better, faster, the song. And I agreed. And even at 1.5 speed, I'm like, this is a little slow and quiet. It doesn't have much of a beat. And like, May the Power Protect You being the chorus. That should be, think of the theme songs and the background music. It's not like Power Rangers doesn't have good music, but every time they want a character to be a musician, they're never like, I'm going to rock out, or I'm going to do this crazy rap song, or it's always sort of this milquetoast vanilla, like, and not even in a cheesy pop way. Like, it's just like, they're trying to be like inoffensive in a way that's just, I don't know. And like, I always find it boring. But in this one, the fact that he was like, May the Power Protect You, like that should have been the song that we're all singing as Power Rangers fans. We should have all, oh, May the Power Protect You. No, that I put too much energy into it. It's not even that good.
Here's the thing. If Power Rangers comes back and they decide to do a musical episode because it's still geared toward children,
right?
I really hope they reach out to Ron Wasserman, and I hope he accepts the role as a guest star, and he will make this original thing. He'll be in, he'll perform it with the Ranger actor, whatever, and it'll be a good song.
I agree, but I understand they want to give one of the Rangers like an interest, make them a musician. Have Ron Wasserman write it and let them perform it. Let them lip sync it, whatever,
Headcanon.
Yeah.
What's his name? Javi's a great musician,
Mhm.
but he can't perform all instruments at once in a live performance. He gears
Ron
up with this
Wasserman
local
on guitar.
man. Ron Wasserman and his band are there, and they all jam out. Javi can sing it, whatever, and you got backups by Ron. There you go. If you guys need me to run Power Rangers, if it's a vacant spot, have your people contact us. We'll make something happen. We'll get the contracts all written up, make sure everybody's happy and fair, and we'll go from there.
I want to go deeper with the Easter egg because the trivia about Ron Wasserman, the original theme song. That sounds like guitar, but apparently he didn't play it on guitar. He did like either a synthesizer or something like it's a guitar sound, but he like put it together so that when somebody was asking him like, how do you play that on guitar? He's like, I didn't play it on guitar. And so people have learned to play it on guitar, but that's not how he did it. So it would be awesome if he was doing something. And Javi's like, how do you do that? I'm like, oh, I don't do it on guitar. Like, just like,
what about keytar? That would have been the ultimate payoff.
There you go. The keytar. That's the keytar.
We have gone so off the rails. The moral of the story is this is a great season. This is a great episode.
Yeah.
We are sad to see it go. We are not happy to watch it leave and walk away. We want Ranger stuff in the future. In the meantime, we're going to keep watching all of the fan films and everything, the great stuff that everybody's putting out. And we got a couple more seasons we both haven't seen and reviewed. We'll do our best there. But really, what I'm hyped for Power Rangers content is the comics and the fan content. And those are what keep me going as a Ranger fan in the current state of 2024.
And the cosplay you're working on.
For context, I floated out an idea that I gave myself an out and said, in the next 10 years, maybe I'll have a cosplay. So in 2034, if I don't have a cosplay, I'm a dirty liar.
That's true. One other thing to say about generally all positive. We're nitpicking.
You're a dirty liar. Also, this season's good.
No, but just going back to this episode, it would have been nice to have a little more episodes. But would they have been good? Who knows? Would have liked to seen some more guest stars. Like things that could have made it better. But it was good, and it was as satisfying an ending as we're likely to get. Yep. Good for old fans. Good for just recent fans. One question though, the final line uttered in the last episode of the last season of Power Rangers. Coolio. I feel like at the time it came out, people were making bones about that, being like, this is stupid, or this is funny, or like people were, but I wasn't paying attention because I didn't want spoilers. But do you remember what was said about that, or how do you feel about it?
I like it. I think it's a cool send-off for Zato. I think a lot of people hate it because they think that line's corny. We like it because it is corny.
Well, I certainly, it's Zato. He's corny. I like him. He's one of my favorite Red Rangers at this point. Not my favorite, but he's up there for sure.
Yep.
The only thing that I don't like about it, which I didn't really think about the first time, but the last thing said before that was everybody on stage singing, and they said like, "May the power protect you," or they said it or sang it. That was said. And I'm like, that should be the last line. And he's like, coolio. And I'm like, I wish they reversed that, where he said it while he was watching it, and then they
finished the song. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but otherwise, good.
Yeah. Again, it was good to go over it again. It still stings just the same. But really solid season. I recommend those who haven't rewatched it yet to rewatch it. It is still fun to go back, even though some of the stuff that's going to happen.
Like us, you binged it the first time, parceling it out like a regular show, and you can enjoy it more for sure.
Yeah. And I guess whoever makes customs, make a reasonable price to Master's Ed, and you'll have a lot of people lined up.
Big Dog has bought custom Lightning Collection and Pops before. I have not, but
I have some next to me right now. Actually, I forgot your rant for a minute.
Actually, he used to be all about toys. Actually, he used to be the game. Actually,
I have 2 different Quantum customs.
Ooh.
I just realized. And this wasn't planned. I like Quantum Ranger. He's definitely a cool design, but I happened to see cool Ranger custom pops. One of them was Quantum. I happened to see cool Ranger custom figures. One of them was Quantum, and here we are.
Here we are.
But
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think you have any customs. That is a cool figure though.
This is the Final Wars Godzilla. It has the most buttery, movable, posable tail of any Godzilla figure I've ever had. It has other issues, but best tail for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely don't have any custom Power Rangers figures. I don't know if I've ever bought a custom figure. I've done super minor like piece swap customizations myself.
Yeah. These are both customs for us. This is the Legacy Morpher. Yes. We both have customs of this. That's it.
Yeah,
for you.
And I didn't make you. That's true. I was thinking about figures. But yeah, I got the one that J-Man gave me. Yeah, that's it.
We're rambling. We want to keep talking, but
time's a clicking. What is the next episode going to be? Uncertain. We will be getting back into Mystic Force, but I feel like there might be something in between. So
there's probably going to be a week where we're just going to recharge and talk about nothing. But until we do that,
we do a live episode.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, maybe 75% chance the next episode will be a live episode, like a Q&A. How about that?
We'll figure it out. We'll maybe lock that in, possibly, if it works. I have been the big dog.
I continue to be the final finale bot, Gazbot.
And to the power. See y'all later. Go back, watch the other videos, and let us know in the comments what you think. Who's right, who's wrong. Thanks, bye.
My timing was off. I was all ready to hit the end credits. Usually, I'm like, oh, I gotta hurry up and find it. This time, I was like, oh, I gotta wait for him. He's got stuff to say.
I was gonna tell you to use Hunter as the intro, and you did already. So I'm glad we were mind melded in that
episode too. Actually,
I know. Yeah, it was a good starter and ender.
Just like this season finale here. Yeah. I'm gonna end the recording as soon as our faces.